Thor exemplified the emerging blueprint for many Marvel movies to come, adopting a character with a distinct essence and rich backstory, then crafting something fresh to anchor the expanding universe. Despite the familiarity of his name, fans knew relatively little about him. Now let's look back to the story of Thor. In 965 AD, Asgard's king, Odin, leads a war against the frost giants of Jotunheim and their leader Laufey, aiming to prevent their conquest of the Nine Realms, beginning with Earth. As the Asgardians emerge victorious, they seize the source of the frost giants' power, the casket of ancient winters. In the present day, Thor, Odin's son, is poised to take the throne of Asgard. However, his plans are thwarted when frost giants, covertly aided by his brother Loki, attempt to reclaim the casket. Against Odin's wishes, Thor ventures to Jotunheim to confront Laufey, accompanied by his childhood friend Sif and the warriors three, Volstagg, Fandral, and Hogun. A fierce battle erupts until Odin intervenes to rescue them, shattering the fragile peace between their realms. As punishment for his arrogance, Odin strips Thor of his divine powers and banishes him to Earth as a mortal, with his hammer Mjolnir, now enchanted to be wielded only by the worthy. Thor lands in New Mexico, where he encounters astrophysicist Dr. Jane Foster, her assistant Darcy Lewis, and mentor Dr. Eric Selvig. When the locals discover Mjolnir, S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson seizes it and gathers information from Foster about the wormhole that brought Thor to Earth. Despite Thor's attempts to retrieve Mjolnir, he finds himself unworthy and is captured by S.H.I.E.L.D. with Selvig's assistance. Thor escapes and resigns himself to life on Earth, forming a bond with Foster as they navigate his exile together. The initial tone may suggest a dark and subtle narrative, but it serves merely as a prelude to the film's second act. Following a dramatic encounter while attempting to depart from their pursuit, the scene transitions back to Asgard, depicted in a strikingly vibrant and stylized manner.
Loki uncovers the truth of his parentage, realizing he is Laufey's biological son, adopted by Odin after their war concluded. Confronting Odin, who succumbs to the exhaustion of the Odin sleep to regain his strength, Loki seizes the throne in his father's absence. Offering Laufey the opportunity to kill Odin and reclaim the casket, Loki's actions spark dissent among Sif and the Warriors Three, who strive to bring Thor back from exile. Persuading Heimdall, the guardian of the Bifrost, to grant them passage to Earth, they aim to thwart Loki's reign.
Loki's realization of his frost giant heritage and subsequent assumption of the throne during Odin's Odin sleep creates a palpable tension, foreshadowing ominous developments for his character. While he's not yet a clear antagonist, these events mark a significant shift in the story. However, they don't immediately impact Thor's storyline on Earth. Instead, a separate pinch point arises when S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Coulson arrives and seizes all of Jane's equipment. Although Thor himself isn't directly affected, this confiscation prompts Jane to take him to the crash site where he hopes to retrieve his hammer, Mjolnir, setting the stage for his future challenges.
Anticipating their move, Loki dispatches the Destroyer, an unstoppable automaton, to hunt down and eliminate Thor. Despite the warriors' efforts to rescue him, the Destroyer prevails, leading Thor to sacrifice himself in a bid to protect his comrades. Demonstrating his worthiness, Thor wields Mjolnir once more, defeating the Destroyer and regaining his powers. With Jane by his side, Thor returns to Asgard to confront Loki.
As Thor confidently storms through S.H.I.E.L.D.'s makeshift compound, he is abruptly confronted with the crushing realization that he is unable to lift his own hammer. This moment, where he discovers the consequences of his father's decree that only the worthy may wield it, marks a significant low point in his character arc. Surprisingly early in the narrative, this serves as a pivotal moment of truth for him, prompting a swift and profound understanding. In his immediate humility upon grasping the reason behind his inability to raise the hammer, a glyph on its side subtly hints that he has become worthy, although he is denied the opportunity to test his newfound revelation.
In Asgard, Loki betrays and slays Laufey before revealing his scheme to use the Bifrost Bridge to obliterate Jotunheim. Engaging in a fierce battle with Thor, Loki is thwarted when Thor destroys the bridge, trapping himself in Asgard. As Odin awakens to intervene, preventing his sons from plunging into the abyss, Loki chooses to fall when Odin rejects his pleas for validation. Hurtling through a wormhole, Loki lands on Earth. Thor reconciles with Odin, acknowledging his unpreparedness for kingship, while Foster and her team explore ways to reach Asgard. In a post-credits scene, Selvig is recruited by S.H.I.E.L.D., where Nick Fury presents a mysterious cube-shaped object, hinting at its vast potential. Under the influence of an invisible Loki, Selvig agrees to study it.
Thor marks the beginning of a departure from the genre conventions that had characterized earlier MCU films. Iron Man 2 in particular was criticized for its reliance on slow-motion shots, explosions, and montages. Conversely, Thor introduces dynamic action sequences with a greater emphasis on close-quarter combat, occurring swiftly and intimately, while maintaining its status as an action-packed spectacle. The film prioritizes character development over relentless fighting scenes. The highlight of the movie arguably occurs when Thor storms the S.H.I.E.L.D. base, presenting perhaps the most engaging fight sequence throughout the film, albeit with a touch of restraint, as much as intense combat allows. Here, the presence of the God of Thunder and his mighty hammer, Mjolnir, lends credibility to the emotional storm unfolding, while the rapid transformation of the desert into a muddy battleground may stretch believability. It adds a chaotic and entertaining element to the skirmish. Central to this pivotal scene is the introduction of another future Avenger ally, Clint Barton, also known as Hawkeye, whose choice of weaponry, opting for a compound bow over a firearm, hints at his distinctive skill set. However, the film's narrative structure feels disjointed, particularly towards the conclusion, leaving viewers questioning the feasibility of Thor undergoing such a profound and sudden personality shift by the movie's end. As thanks for watching the whole video, here's a picture of a cute puppy. And if you have a movie or TV show that you want us to cover, just comment it down below. We'll make a video of it in the future. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our playlist for more recaps.